The organizers of the 2017 hate rally in Charlottesville were funded by private right-wing groups, according to a new lawsuit. Now, the event, the Unite the Right rally, which ended in catastrophe when a neo-Nazi drove his car into a crowd of counter-demonstrators, murdering Heather Heyer and injuring others. That event, well, I mean, obviously it was horrifying. It was a gigantic news spectacle. These were literal neo-Nazis marching through the streets, and they hurt people. And yet Donald Trump, President Donald Trump at the time, oh, there are good people on both sides. Yeah, of course. So now survivors of that attack had filed a lawsuit against Unite the Right's organizers. Now, in response to this, they said, oh, we didn't have anything to do with that. No, we didn't organize this. What are you talking about? The hate rally? No. I mean, it was a loosely organized rally, and so we're not really at fault of what happened. No, not at all. Now, again, that might be pretty difficult because according to a tranche of new evidence exhibits entered by plaintiffs in that lawsuit, suggests that Unite the Right's organizers actually collaborated very closely on the event, even running their own so-called nonprofit groups in order to get funding for this and to pay neo-Nazis. So now the case is Sines versus Kessler and is scheduled to actually go to trial next month. So now there was a lot of evidence exhibits that were shown. It's not the full text of the evidence, but it already includes more than 3,000 exhibits, including text messages between white supremacist leaders, legal documents from far-right groups, and medical documents from car attack victims. So now, why is that in there, that last part? Well, there's a certain conspiracy theory, of course, here we go, launched from members of the right wing about the victims' injuries. And so this evidence, these exhibits, would be, presented as a way to debunk that narrative and show how disastrous, how many injuries, and how bad they were from the white supremacist attack in Charlottesville. All right. So now, according to the article in the Daily Beast, defendants of the suit have previously attempted to downplay culpability in Unite the Right's chaos, describing the rally as loosely organized and not intentionally violent. But text messages to and from defendant Elliot Klein and key Unite the Right organizers suggest significant coordination and funding. In one text message, Klein appears to describe the breakup that resulted from his involvement with white supremacist groups. Good. Girl, you run. You run. You run now. You get out of there. Save yourself. In the message, he describes an upcoming well-paid job within a defunct white supremacist group known as Identity Evropa. I've talked about them before. Thankfully, they no longer exist. Nonetheless, they were a clear white supremacist hate group. Here's what the text said. Quote, I'm about to double down in the movement harder than I already have. I asked her if she thought it was a good idea. She was excited. And now she wants out. It's too late for me to turn it down now. Half the reason I took the opportunity was because I knew I'd be able to support her with it. It's secret, but I'm taking over IE, Identity Evropa, from Nathan, and I'm going to be paid from private donors some good money. Literally getting paid just to hate people. Jesus. Although the preview of the exhibit does not include timestamps, the conversation appears to have taken place before or in the days immediately following Unite the Right. Klein, who went by the pseudonym Eli Mosley at the time of Unite the Right, took over Identity Evropa from its founder, Nathan D'Amigo, 2 weeks after the deadly rally. Other texts to and from Klein in the exhibit list suggest a flow of money into the white supremacist movement, particularly through Identity Evropa. So far, we don't know the donors to that so-called nonprofit, but it went from the donors to the group to people representing the group and white supremacists who were prominent at that rally and, of course, to set up said rally. So now, during a conversation that appeared to take place while it was in its planning stages, D'Amigo texted Klein, quote, I'm going to move forward tomorrow to get you on the payroll. That group was a registered nonprofit in California. Can you imagine? In chat logs previously leaked by the media group Unicorn Riot, Identity of Roper members were seen using that nonprofit to solicit donations for their legal fund to combat lawsuits like Signs versus Kessler. Exhibits in Signs versus Kessler also suggest that the group attempted to prevent leaks with at least one mutual NDA between Klein and D'Amico. Since it is no longer a corporation, it has been incorporated. I should say that incorporation has been dissolved and is now defunct. That NDA no longer exists. So now other exhibits suggest the base structure was broader than Identity of Ropa. During a conversation that appeared to take place before the rally, white supremacist Richard Spencer told Klein that, quote, also, we're going to pay you. During the rally planning process, Klein also texted the event's main organizer, Jason Kessler, that you and I should get used to speaking daily now. Now that this is my full-time job, I'll be much more available to you. So it must have been really, really good money, which suggests billionaire or very, very wealthy donors. Big surprise. Big surprise. It's almost as if white nationalism and white supremacy has all the money. But here's the thing. Of course, I call it a hate job, but I swear some people are going to be like, oh, but you understand, it's not hate, it's history. There's a bunch of patriots who didn't want to erase history. There was great people. There was good people on both sides. No, let me just say, it's not a controversial opinion. These people are the lowest of the low. Racists and neo-Nazis are the scum of the earth. They're also pretty dumb. Let's be honest. They think they're smart, though, and that's the worst kind of dumb person, is the person who swears that they're actually really smart. Because, oh no, we're going to try to use science to dehumanize people by, like, doing weirdo shit like measuring skull shapes and cranial sizes. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, it's a measure of your intelligence. No, these are some of the most arrogantly stupid people on the planet. And yet, they've been getting a lot of money. And it's because, of course, their interests align to members of the elite. And that's what they do, by the way. The established order favors wealthy white Protestant Christian men. That's just what happens. So, now obviously, being a hate group is out of style with the majority of the American people. To be a Nazi, the United States, by the way, to be a Nazi is obviously very, very unpopular. People don't like Nazis for good reason. And so not only that, but the United States itself, the population is more diverse and more socially progressive. We're actually, becoming a more tolerant, better country on social issues. And I think that's fantastic. What's also great about that is people like Kessler and Spencer are social outcasts, social and political outcasts. And that's excellent. They should be. Now, of course, the result of that, and they knew this was the case. That's why you saw Richard Spencer, for example, cleaned up their image, the image of the white nationalist. So I remember all the fawning New York Times coverage, for example, of the dapper Richard Spencer, member of the alt-right. So they're the alt-right, and they're the internet race realists, or the intellectual dark web, but they're all the same thing. The Nazi is a Nazi is a Nazi, and that's what they are. And Kessler knew that that was part of their audience. In fact, while discussing a statement from a member of the group Proud Boys, Kessler told Klein in the text, quote, I think it's all right, except he kind of backs himself in the corner by pretending some of our guys aren't Nazis. I think he needs more wiggle room, just in case there are salutes. Of course. What else can you take from this, other than the fact, of course, this is just a sampling of the evidence that they have to show that this hate rally was absolutely planned, coordinated, and funded by white supremacists and gigantic donors. And it was planned for white supremacists as an attempt to, I think, make a comeback in popular culture. What they want, more than anything, is notoriety, power, and, of course, to create a race war. That's what they want. Their ultimate dream and goal is to fracture the country. along racial lines that they maintain their power over others, power they believe is theirs by nature of birthright, which of course is disgustingly un-American, because that's not the way we do things, okay? But white supremacy is a stain on this country, on the history, and we cannot let this have a resurgence, ever. So I'm glad they're going after this group. I cannot wait to see what other evidence is in this case to present, and I hope these horrible people get taken to the cleaners by these victims of the Charlottesville hate rally and end up as poor and irrelevant to this nation and its future as the now sad, broke, and alone Richard Spencer is. One can only hope. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.